Welcome to episode number 8 of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. I'm Aric.
And I'm Angie.
We're married with a crap ton of kids.
6 kids. He has 3 and I have 3.
And our show is about being blended, blessed, and our always a mess life. And our hopes if you find yourself in some of the same situations that we're in, that when we share our story, maybe, hopefully, possibly, it'll give you some inspiration, laughs, and community, knowing you're not alone in the entire mess. We've been joking some over the last week that we really don't even know who our audience is anymore at this point. So many people are listening. We're grateful. But, you know, some of the folks that are listening are going through divorce. Some of the folks that are listening are trying to start a new blended family. Some of them are children that are in a blended family.
Some don't have a blended family.
Yeah, that's right.
Intrigued, I think.
Yeah, so it's kind of all over the board and really cool. So we thank you for listening. Today is a topic that Angie picked. You did.
You ladies will enjoy.
I mean, we'll see. This episode is titled, I Beg to Differ. Huh.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You seem to really be excited about this episode, more so than me. So I'm just...
No, my thought in picking the next topic was just around, you know, we focus a lot about the kids and the mess. And one of the things that Aric and I struggle with is really making time for each other. And so that's hard because, you know, as a mom, my mind's going 24,000 different directions, focused on kids and a career, jobs, nuts, demanding. And so then what's left over is what?
And just funny, it's true. I mean, your mind's always going, it's always spinning, it never shuts off. And I'm a dude. So as you might know,
I can focus on one thing and just be like, I don't know what you're so stressed out about.
I don't understand.
Nails on the chalkboard.
I don't understand, honey. We have all these blessings. And so it seems like it should just be easy.
Right.
I don't get it.
So my point is then, you know, whatever's left over, that's what Aric gets, which is not the best fruitful time. So we do try to make time to like travel, get away for a long weekend. But the whole purpose of that talk track is what made me think about this is we have so many differences that I thought it would be fun to kind of walk through our differences, because I think if you don't pay attention to that and you don't talk about your differences and you don't work through kind of how do you resolve it, how do you meet them in the middle, then your time that you get, that the leftover time I have, it's spent on nitpicky stuff versus, you know, because you haven't resolved it. I think that's my whole
not just
kind of thought process is like, Aric, one thing Aric's taught me too is just to really talk through things versus like, you know, it might be some little annoyance and then it's...
Then it gets bigger.
It's annoying.
Yeah, but it's not like that. Then, you know, your 3 kids and my 3 kids were used to the way we do things. And so then our differences come into play. And then it also affects them.
Right.
That now they're learning how to interact with how you're different from me and how I'm different from them. And like we said a couple weeks ago, the podcast could be good, could be bad. So,
well, and I think too, the other focus point makes it a little bit different is when you get married later in life. Like it's, you know, I think I've mentioned this before on a podcast, but you get married at a young age, you don't really have a lot of traits or things that you're kind of setting your ways on. But you are for sure when you get married in your late 30s or 40s. And so trying to bring that together on top of our kids, it's a challenge. And you've got to make sure that you talk through all of your differences as you come together. It's like, oh, God, I didn't even...
Honey, I want to say,
know I did that.
I'm very proud of you for wanting to talk this through. Although in the same breath, I'm going, oh God, what does she want to talk through? This could be good and it could be bad. We've talked about like some of the easy stuff, like the Christmas. Like, I was like more Clark Griswold. You were more very simple.
Elegant.
Elegant. That's a great word. Our parenting styles. You like to let the kids work through things. I was more very loud and vocal. And I've really, really worked to adapt that parenting style for you and the kids. And now I know it's serious when you want me to re-invoke my loudness and to go in a bigger way. I'm like, oh God, this is bad. She wants me to activate the old style. So, all right, you put together a list for us.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting as we talked through this of like all of our differences. Because I think when people see, other couples, they think, oh, they're so much alike. And there's obviously a lot of things that we're alike in, but
For sure.
when we talked through and kind of thought through our differences, we had a long list, but it was just interesting to talk through them and then also reflect back on how do we work through that. You ready to dive in?
I mean, I guess we're gonna.
Let's start with.
I'm gonna let you lead. I'm gonna follow here. I know you're very excited. She's a lot more excited about this than I am, in case you can't tell. All right.
Gas stations.
Yeah, what about them?
Oh my gosh.
I want to make sure you have a nice place to pee.
This is so funny because it seems so minor, but Aric has a love or a fetish for gas stations.
A lot of guys do, actually.
So if you travel a lot, you're in a car, it's annoying.
How is it annoying that I want to find a nice gas station? The next time we travel, I'm going to pull over into a crappy station and you're going to have to go to the bathroom. Like, you know what? Go back to loving a gas station. And so in that regard, yes, I think what you mean more is that I do prefer to find one with cheap gas. So I like a nice gas station with cheap gas. And so if I know there's one 10 miles down the road, I'm going to go to that one.
And it's on E, and the car's on E.
Yeah, but I can tell that we've still got like 7 miles to empty, so it's going to be fine. But I'm giving you a nice gas station. We're getting a cheaper price of gas. I just don't understand the problem.
Yeah. For me, it's like I stop at the point in time that I need gas, right? So I don't do a lot of analysis around which gas station and where and when to stop and how long. Like I'm pedal to the metal, going to get to where I need to go. And I don't even look at how much the gas costs. Well, obviously now I'm aware because it's high, but like I'm just going to stop where I need to stop.
Let's just be super honest right now, okay? If we're ranking across
He'll
Missouri.
He'll drive out of his way to get cheaper gas.
I will. Loves travel stops, amazing. Quick Trips, amazing. The new Casey's General Stores, amazing. If we could go down south, I would stop at a Buc-ee's. I'm dying to get into a Buc-ee's. Everybody tells me how amazing it is. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a nice station with clean restrooms. But then, yes, I do like cheaper gas, especially now. If I can save 20 cents a gallon, and that's going to be $4 or $5, honey.
Wow, $4 or $5.
You know what our grocery bill is with these kids? $4 to $5 comes in handy.
On the list.
It is on the list. I noticed that.
So for each one of these, we're going to talk about how we worked through it. So for gas stations, I just had to let that shit go.
Yeah, because I'm like, honey, I'm giving you a nice bathroom. I mean, I don't know.
I just like kind of cringe. Oh, here we go. We're going 5 miles out of the way to save $4.
In the meantime,
I let him go.
I have also tried to not be as picky about it. While I'm still, 75% picky, I'm now 25% not picky. That's a growth area for me.
Okay, so we kind of met in the middle a little bit on that one. Groceries.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We have 6 kids already, so we have to have a lot of groceries, but you order more groceries than anybody I've ever seen. And the kids even put in our wedding vows to our kids that you would always make sure that you had all the good snacks. Because when you met me, I didn't have good snacks.
You didn't have snacks.
You
had no food in your home.
I fed them 3 times a day.
Easy Mac. And you had some lunch meat. And some frozen pizzas.
You can do a lot with those.
Like maybe 2 frozen pizzas.
Cereal.
And one box of cereal.
No, now we have snacks galore. Like if we got shut back down for COVID, we could survive for a few weeks and not have to get any groceries.
Yes,
because we would be completely stacked up in our pantry and in our freezer and all those things. I'm fine with it. You know how we dealt with that? I just said, screw it. This is one I'm not going to win. All the kids, all 3 of my kids were like, Dad, this is the greatest thing ever.
Because we have food.
We had food, all right? My kids would tell you we ate the same things over and over.
It's so funny. Okay, you'll gather from the podcast, Aric's frugal, which I actually love. I love that because I don't, if I want something, I do go buy it. But I don't think I go overboard. It could be really bad, but I don't. I try to stay within my means, but if I want something, I do get it. But Aric's pretty frugal. And I remember when we first started dating, he was so excited that he got the Hy-Vee ad. And he sat next to me on the couch with a pen, and he was going to he went through and circled what he wanted to buy that was on sale at Hy-Vee.
Yes, I don't do that anymore.
It was the cutest thing.
I did. You laughed about it, but I used to love to do that. That's how I grocery shop.
And now we Instacart. because I don't have time, and I am all about like efficiency. So
Yeah, she lets me go to the...
so much time to go to the store and shop and do all that, where I can just add to my list throughout. Another plug for Instacart is the best thing ever.
She lets me go to the grocery store like once a month, just so I can do what I like to do, and that's about it.
Because we don't have time. You don't have time to go to the grocery store.
I don't either anymore. That's how we worked through it.
So we kind of met in the middle on the groceries. I do order the groceries for the most part. Aric will go to the store sometimes, but we do have definitely have plenty of food at the house for the kids.
Will you tell this? Can you make me a sandwich?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. I think something that we could talk about here that I would like, you mentioned is me being more frugal, is the finances. And I do.
That's a good one.
I like to do my checkbook down to the penny. And I've actually decided this summer.
I hear the laughs out there.
I'm going to teach our two oldest girls, Hallie and Lexi, how to better manage their checkbooks, because it's a growth area for them as college kids. And so I think, all kids are going to need to do it. I'm going to teach it to Carter at some point. I'm going to teach it to the twins, to Dane. Like, if you don't know how to manage your funds, you're going to end up overdrawing your account. I mean, didn't Summer recently even say something about, like, we were talking about something she wanted to buy, and it was like, well, this is all the money that you have in your account. And it was like, she was amazed we were balancing our checkbook because she didn't understand what that looked like. And so they've all got to learn it.
Yeah, for sure. But he's a check register guy.
Yeah, old school.
Old school.
Old school.
Writes it down. He's so excited when he balances it. But I think we could probably take it back a step further, though, just around how we decided we were going to do our finances.
Mm-hmm.
When, you come together and, I pretty much
do what you want.
I mean, yeah, I kind of do what I want.
You say all the time, like, I do what I want.
So I budget. I have a spreadsheet that has a spreadsheet for years, and I more forecast things out. And yes, I do not balance it to the penny, but I'll budget out so I can project out what expenses we'll have in the next couple months and be able to forecast how much to put in savings and all of that. So then when Aric and I knew we were going to get married, it was, you have that discussion around how you're going to do your money. And, I am Miss Independent. And were we going to combine? Were we going to combine or separate? And the challenge I had was I'm also all about a minimalist and being simple. And so to think about having two different checkbooks and try to then also have one together to pay bills out of, that just made my head spin. But also knowing we have differences in spending habits, it's like I don't want to, I'm like 42 years old at the time whenever we were going to get married. Mm-hmm. I don't need a father to...
I wasn't trying to.
No,
father.
I know, but in just our conversation of like talking through things, it's like, okay, but then you don't want the scrutiny. I've been doing my own thing for a long time. So we did decide that we would just combine it. Just make it simple, combine it. Aric does his balance to the T register. I still do my budget and forecast things out, and it works well. It works well for us.
What's the workaround for you? What's the workaround?
We found a workaround because there was one time. Because this is what I did tell Aric. I said, listen, here's the deal. I'm okay. I'm okay with combining it together. But it will not go well if you scrutinize what I purchase. And by the way, keep in mind, I'm all about fairness to kids. So if I'm going to buy my kiddo something and spend a certain amount, I'm going to do the exact same for his kids. And so... And
I've never had a problem with that.
I know. But there was the one time. Do you know what
I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's about you. It wasn't about the kids. And it was just it was more the time of year. It was a bad timing because it was in December.
Christmas,
all your
taxes.
Christmas stuff, taxes, all the bills coming out all at once. We had to finish writing big check for
the wedding, right?
I think for the wedding. Like, it was all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it was bad timing, but I had gotten Botox. It was $400. And I had came home from that, and I said, well, I had Botox, it's $400. And all he did was, he made this little sigh, and I'm like,
she lost her mind.
Hell
no.
She
lost her mind. And I'm like, I'm a little disappointed that at this time of year, that was when one, I don't believe you need it. You're so pretty. But then, it was. So the workaround was Angie just puts things on her credit card that she doesn't want me to know about. I don't argue with it. I don't want to see it.
Well, you know about it. You see what I pay on my credit card, but he doesn't. It works out better for him that he doesn't see the details of what things cost. Because again, remember, he will drive 4 miles out of his way to save $3. So it's better for him to just not see what things cost. So that's our workaround, and it works great.
It does. I don't.
There's
drive
no
4
scrutiny.
Miles. 2 miles.
2 miles.
Not 4. 4's too far.
Way
too far.
I didn't do the math on that.
I know I'm going to lose money on that. Come on.
But we did find a workaround and talk through. We didn't just get. I mean, I initially was like nails on the chalkboard again, but we talked through it and found a way that we both would be comfortable with how we would handle our finances. And I don't think we've had any.
No, and the kids are fine because they're getting all the groceries they want, all the clothes they want, all the things that they want because, Mama Ange is just taking care of it, so it's good to go.
That's right.
Now, that also leads then into something that I am glad that you've really helped me with because it was an area that I struggled with. I was tithed to my church, but I struggled in giving, right? Charitable events and things like that. I was very conservative, again, in those giving situations. You love to give. You love to help people. And that is really, I think, has rubbed off on me a lot. I'm much quicker to pull out the checkbook and write a check or hand over the credit card to charitable organizations at this point.
Yeah, I will say I have always believed that if you give to other people, it comes back to you like tenfold. I have always been like that. My mom is a super giving person and will do anything for anybody. And that was something when we first got together around just helping out other people. And I think at first Aric was a little like, ooh, I don't know. And now he's seen it does. It comes back around.
Yeah, but as a Christian, it just feels good. Being kind
to other people, and it feels good. And we have a little bit of a funny story about that. We did adopt a family.
Yeah, it just shows where we were with our kids. Like my boy's taking after me and your kid's taking after you. You tell. It's funny.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's cute. So
it was Christmas for at church.
Yeah, they do this great program where it's adopt a family. They give you a basket and then a list of all these things that kids need, but it's like a brush and toothbrush and a stuffed animal. I mean, it's like
underwear,
bare necessities, right? So we grabbed 2 baskets. And I was talking to Aric, I'm like, and this is more, I would say, my parenting style of teaching the kids, right? Go do it. And so we teamed them up. So we had Chase and Summer together, and then Carter and Dane, and they each had a basket, and they had the list. And we're like, here's your budget. And you guys go shop for these kids, pick out what they want, but stay within your budget. Make it happen. It was good. They had a team. They had to communicate. They had to
do the math to figure out,
keep track of what they're spending, and then also realize that that's what these kids actually are getting for Christmas: a blanket, a stuffed animal. I mean, it's a
pillow,
little bit of humility there. And so, in true, good parenting fashion, we dropped them off and then went to a little pizza place and had a drink
and something to eat. We gave an hour. We're like, we'll be back in an hour.
Yeah. So it was the funny part was we get back to the store. We walk in there. They're done. They're pretty well done. Carter and Dane were under budget.
My boys under budget, like you would think.
$10, and then had bought some stuff for themselves.
But then we're like, we bought some stuff for ourselves. We're under budget. I'm like,
and candy. They're under budget.
Failure on my part.
Okay, they didn't think that they could just buy more things for the kids.
Yeah, buy those kids soda and candy. Gosh.
And then my kiddos, they went over budget.
But Mom, they needed this.
They argued back and forth. Their kind of dilemma to work through was Summer wanted to get nicer stuff and go over budget. Just like totally me. It was great. It was a great experience for them. So we'll definitely do that one again.
Yeah, and these are cool ways that if you're blending your family, you can take these opportunities and your differences and start to mold them into your kids. Because it was an eye opener for me to have conversations with Carter and Dane, like, boys, I know that your dad's frugal, but in this instance, just because you saved like $9 on the underside, that didn't mean spend it on yourself. So. Yeah,
it was good. They did a great job of working together and thinking about other kids and their needs.
We talked a little bit with that about like giving and charity and things like that and how we did that through the church. And you put faith down on the list, which we talked about how the first time we got the kids together, I prayed and your kids were weirded out by that. But now it's just a natural thing in our family that we go to church.
No, I would say that was just another difference. It was top of mind when we first met, is just, the faith side of it. And it took me a while to kind of open up to that. We do a small group and through our church. And, I had to push myself probably out of my comfort zone there and to be more open to faith and even talk about it. Like I literally I sometimes don't even feel comfortable talking about it. And so that was something that was definitely a difference in our lives, but one that was good for me to lean. And there was no meeting in the middle, I don't think. I just gradually, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like I think we didn't meet in the middle. It was something that I just over time fully embraced and has been so amazing for my kiddos. But at first that was a difference that we kind of had to figure out. And I ended up ultimately joining the Crossing. Your faith and how you navigate that, definitely I would, in a blended family is something to have to really work through.
Yeah, but it's been so rewarding, I think,
gosh.
For our relationship and then for the relationship we're developing with our kids and for our kids as well. And so glad that that's how we met in the middle on that. Angie started going to church. After a while, she liked it, started taking her kids.
For me, I just had to be more open to it and willing to engage at that level. So that was definitely a change and something we had to work through.
From a standpoint of openness, talking about how, you push yourself out of the comfort zone to be able to share and things like that. I tend to be a little more extroverted. You tend to be a little more introverted.
Oh, for sure. Well, and I think we just had this week too. I think for me, so much of what I do in my job, I talk nonstop, and that is mentally exhausting for me. At the end of the day, like I am just wiped out. I feel like I'm pulled in so many different directions that a way for me to recoup that energy is to just have some downtime, some quiet time. That is also extremely difficult in a large family. And so I think like even this week, I literally was not home. Last Monday, I left super early in the morning, traveled to Phoenix for work for a couple of days, and Aric came in to Phoenix. We spent the couple days together through the weekend, came back Monday. Monday, landed in St. Louis, worked, and then went to a track meet. Next day, worked, went to a track meet. Next day, Wednesday, worked all day, nonstop calls, on calls, rode with Aric to Carter's game. Carter had a baseball game, came home at like 6:00, and Eric's like, I'm ready to go. You want to go grab dinner? And I'm like, I know. I looked at you like, oh my God, I cannot even remotely think about going to dinner. I literally just want to go home.
And I just decided then Carter and I would go to dinner so that you could have some alone time.
Yeah, just having like 2 hours just to like not feel like I have to talk or have to do anything. Of just that's me. Like that's what I think introverts. Although, we're extroverted in a lot of ways, but to really try to recoup that energy and feel like you can decompress a little bit and start back new, having some sort of downtime. Now, I ended up doing like workout and did all these things. It wasn't like I wanted to just sit, but having that time, that's a big difference between Aric and I. Because even in the mornings, I think for a long time you thought I was...
Sometimes I still think you're mad at me.
He thinks I'm mad. And I'm like, I get up. He gets up and he's singing and he wants to talk about the day. And I'm literally like, oh my God, I don't even want to talk.
I wake up and I'm ready to go. Like, let's have some fun this morning. There's no reason not to be smiling. It's a new day.
Please be quiet. I'm in my mind thinking about my day and everything that I need to do.
It's a new day.
But that's another reason why you have to really be open to communication and sharing. Because I don't know how long it was before you actually like said something about like, are you mad in the mornings? No, I'm actually not. I'm totally fine. But I'm very like kind of serious in my thought around the day and to plan it all out. It's kind of like the podcast. Like I feel like I have to plan it all out so I feel prepared, and he's just winging it. He gets up in the morning, he's just winging it, ready for the day. And I'm like full on preparation mode.
Maybe this is a great opportunity for us to talk this through, is that you could just start getting up like an hour earlier than me. And then by the time I get up, we meet at the perfect time.
That's not going to work.
No, you don't think so? I mean, it was just a thought. I thought maybe we could try it. Okay, all right.
I appreciate your suggestion.
But here's where you can shove it.
Here's where you can, shove it.
And then, but I would say even on that note then, I mean, we've had a conversation in the last couple of weeks. There was a podcast a couple of weeks ago that we did where, I mean, you were kind of upset that you thought I was oversharing and I felt like you weren't sharing enough. And then thought about it for a couple of days. And so I kind of came back to you and with this thought of like, this is who I am. I'm the overshare. You're the introvert undershare. That is kind of what makes our dynamic work. And the people that actually listen to our podcast, I think, and spend time around us as friends and family like that we are opposite in that way. So I just said, look, you keep doing you on the podcast. I'm going to keep doing me. Let's not change each other's style to fit the other one, because then nobody's going to want to listen when we're both the same person.
Yeah. Can I just interrupt here and share something funny?
Sure, honey.
I just got a text from Carter.
Oh gosh.
That says, "Will you get me some toothpaste?"
And
what do you think my response was?
Already have some.
I have 6 tubes in our closet. I do, because I ordered them from Sam's. See, that's why it's good to be prepared. He's like, nice. Why on a Friday, though? Is he here? I mean, it's 11 o'clock on a Friday. No. He's thinking about he needs toothpaste at the house.
He's just not thinking about school is what he's doing. He's just not thinking about school.
I got you covered, Carter.
So then one of the other things, you being prepared, we've talked about this, you like to write everything out for the podcast. You like your to-do lists. If you don't have them, they stress me out. You know what to-do lists do to me? They stress me the heck out.
God, I love them. I have to have everything written out. Otherwise, I'll feel like I'm forgetting something. And then it allows me to plan out my day, because I think about everything that I have to do that day. And then I almost like group it. Okay, now I can go do that return while I'm going to pick up this person from practice. Here's the things I need to do. I'll get gas here.
It's a control. If you feel like you're in control.
Yeah, I have to control.
But yes.
I literally, you don't want to see me without list. You think I'm a mess now. If I don't have it written down, planned out, I'm forgetting it. If it's not on the calendar, it's not happening.
So I have learned that I let her make her lists. She's happier that way. And then I can try to get engaged, read through her list to make sure that I'm accomplishing all my tasks. But I'm not a follow.
You just want the end goal, and then you will figure out a way how, to get there. And I'm more of like, I have to write out the steps to get there.
And it's like, for me, if we were on a road, I feel like there's like the rumble strip for a reason. It's to tell me I'm still on the road, but I probably want to get back a little bit farther over to where I need to be. And so that's kind of more how I do things. It's like, okay, I'm still headed in the right direction. I'll get it done. And that took some trust, I think, over time for you to see, hey, he gets it done.
Yeah, you do get it done. Yeah, that initially, it's like if I didn't know that he, had it all lined out, I would think, well, my God, how's he going to do that? How's he going to make that happen?
But he
does. He does. So, yeah, we worked on trust in that area.
And then that's kind of like when it comes back to we've got the kids, right? And so when we get kids back, like just now, Carter texting about toothpaste, they're coming back tonight. And they've been gone for a couple of days. You are all about maximizing the time, not rocking the boat with the kids. Because when they come back, if you're in a blended family, when you get your kids back from the other parents, sometimes they act a little different. And could be good, could be bad, but sometimes they act a little different. And so Angie she wants all the time to be positive since she's already missed out on time with the kids. I'm in a course correct mode. Like, let's get right back on the schedule we should be as soon as possible. I'm trying to be better at that.
They walk in the door, it's get your clothes put away, bring me your hangers.
Make sure everything is clean. Yeah, I want to make sure everything is good to go.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad that you're home.
Good to see you guys.
Speaking of laundry.
Summer and Carter bring me all their laundry. They don't do it at their other parents' house.
But you fold it so neatly.
I mean, Summer finally the other night, because I was like, Summer, do you not think?
I think they actually like you doing the laundry.
And she goes, I like how you do my laundry. It's fast and it looks good. Yeah, I am a very neat, like you're going to a department store. I get your laundry folded properly, very neatly, and it's very clean when you pull it out of the drawer. If you put it away properly, Chase, Dane. But it's one of those things where I spend a lot of time on the laundry to make sure that you have what you need, that it's done in a timely fashion. You, on the other hand, not so much.
No, I'm not. I love laundry to smell good, so I do love the Diva laundry detergent that we save for special things.
Like our sheets.
And towels. But I'm not a neat folder. Eric's kind of gradually taken over all the laundry.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't do a whole lot of laundry.
I don't. Well, because as soon as you come in the house, you're like turning the dryer on, switching laundry. It's like a habit for you. You come right in, do laundry. So yeah, I used to do some of it, and now it's rare that I do it. He takes over all the laundry, but that means that people are going to follow a process.
I have processes.
So we hang up all their clothes, or Aric hangs up all their clothes when he does the laundry in the laundry room, but they have to come get it and they have to put it away. But then they also have to bring their hangers and hang the hangers in the right spot, because as you can imagine, we have 10 different types of hangers, but they all have got to match and be hanging up correctly.
And that's just me being a little OCD. All right. That's really what that is. That's just me being OCD. I can admit that.
But you've gotten them all trained.
It's a process and it works. The other thing we work on is the dishwasher.
Oh, God.
And the fact of the matter is, I'm giving you some grace here because you didn't have a dishwasher growing up. Your parents didn't have one. You had to hand wash dishes.
I've had a dishwasher for longer than I lived at home, though.
Yes, but the problem is, it's like no one ever taught you how to fill it. So, like the dishwasher, it's very obvious where the plates should go, right? When you say?
Yes.
Except you don't put them where they should go.
I'm always in a hurry.
You just like throw whatever in the dish. So nothing matches. So she gets like half of the things in the dishwasher when I could put another half in.
Do you think the dishwasher cares if it matches and it fits?
I'm just trying to as much as you like to maximize things.
I get it to fit in there. It just doesn't look right. It does.
So
that's one we just have to beg to differ.
We have not gotten anywhere in that process.
I will put the dishes in the dishwasher how I prefer.
A lot of times I just go through and redo it. Like when she's not home, my God, I just take them out. I redo the damn dishwasher.
Because sometimes you just have to overlook things. There are some things you just have to let go.
Now, something I know that could not be let go, so I have worked very hard on for you, is my timeliness.
Yes.
My arrival.
That was another big difference.
Angie's very early. I mean, like 30 minutes early to everything. I was always 5 to 10 minutes late. My kids knew
longer.
It. Well, I'm trying to get all this other stuff done.
Yeah, because you're on my list and you're not prepared.
I just feel like if I'm sitting there for 30 minutes beforehand, I could be getting a lot of things done in that 30 minutes.
But on this one, it has paid off, has it?
It has, and I've done way better because I realized that was an important one for Angie. Timeliness was very important, and I realized that. I think this is, as you're trying to blend families and you want to see what's important to your significant other and their kids and your kids. And to me, it wasn't just important to Angie. It was important to her kids, to my kids, that I started being more on time for everything.
This one was a must-have. I mean, I think as we talk through this, some are like, we'll have to, work through that over time. This one was a must-have. I freak out if I think I'm going to be 5 minutes late to anything that my kids are doing, because I don't know. I don't want them to ever be looking for me or wonder where my mom is. I was telling Aric when we first started dating, I'm like, when I get to a sporting event, like they're looking for me. And that's also why, their dad and I, we try to sit by each other at events, because the kids, they're looking, they want to see if you're there. And so I never want to be, and it's late for everything. Like whether it's a meeting or it's, a flight, travel, all of that stuff, I would much rather be 30 minutes early than 1 minute late, because you kind of have to plan, right? It's a control thing. Yeah, but things happen, and I just don't ever want to not be there.
I think one of the things that hit me, though, was you saying, like, my kids are looking for me before the game started. And I noticed that, but I also remembered always looking for my mom, and she was always late. And I couldn't really calm myself and focus on my game until my mom was there or my dad. And so then, that made a difference. And so I've tried to do a lot better job in that regard. Let's do one or two more, and then we have to wrap for this week. We're already a little over on time.
I have 30 more.
No, you do not. You do. You have a few more.
You picked the last one.
I would say to wrap, falling asleep for the end of your day, because it goes back to how we started, that you have a million things on your brain all at once. You can't shut it down. And I'm like, oh, end of the day, time for bed. Love you. Good night.
Literally, this dude, in 2 seconds, he
Boom.
is falling asleep and jumping. But like immediately, he can come, home and say, oh, hey, I'm going to take a quick nap, 15 minutes. He falls asleep immediately, wakes back up, he's ready to go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot do that. I cannot do that.
There are so many times that you lay awake, and I know that you do. And it's just like, oh,
I'm processing. I don't know if that's an introvert. I don't know I don't know. I just have to process the day, and I have to then also be prepared for the next day. And so I'm thinking about all the things I need to do or rethinking conversations. I think I've gotten better at that. But it definitely is a lot harder for me to fall asleep. Now, I almost think I sleep better than you do, though. I feel like you probably wake up more in the middle of the night than what I do. But I know when we first met, you were not an early riser.
No.
And I'm like, me and my kiddos, especially Chase, early risers, but we definitely have initially different sleep patterns, but we've kind of merged that a little bit to where we try to, be in bed by 9:30.
Yeah, and I like going to bed early now.
Sleep.
I like going to bed early now. I can then get up early. And really, I wouldn't say your kiddos. I would say the early riser in our home is Chase.
Yeah.
That's it. If you let the other 5 kids sleep, they're going to sleep for as long as you'll let them. But Chase is always up early.
That has changed. I think that since our families have come together, that has changed to where they sleep in a lot later. But like when it was just me and my 3 kiddos, early risers. But yeah, they don't do that now.
I would not have known that. So
yeah, for sure.
That is this week's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. And so you see that we have a lot of likenesses, but we also have some differences and how we've started working through a lot of those. I think most of them we have really the dishwasher. That's about the one that we're just resolved. Like, screw it. We're never getting there on that one. But, with that, it is important because as we've tried to point out, there's opportunities there to bring your kids involved in some of it. There's also opportunities to see where it might affect your kids and to make their lives better. Just tackle those differences head on with your significant other so that it's a positive for everybody.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think the key takeaway is that you've got to make time to talk through it because life's crazy. We're all running kids everywhere. But if you let stuff fester, that's not good. So it's more important to make sure you're taking time to talk through it, even if it's little things like the laundry or, the dishwasher or balancing it to the penny or do we have to stop at that gas station?
It'll be a nice one. He'll have a good bathroom.
It pays off. Yeah, it pays off to talk through it.
Next podcast, we might talk about deciding to get married.
Oh, yeah, we should probably. That'll be a good topic.
Because that's a big, big decision when you're blending families. And really, it was our kids that ultimately is why we decided to go ahead and get married. So we'll talk about that next week on our next episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. In the meantime, we hope you have a great week. Like and share what the kids say.
Yeah, keep the feedback coming. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, in the meantime, we're going to go work on our differences.
Yeah.
Bye.